Sophie took some notes on problems that she noticed in your quizzes. For example, if a syllable has only one, if a word has only one syllable and it's stressed. For example, let's say bookcase. Let's take that as two words. What do you circle? Right. B-O-O, is that okay? No, because book is one single syllable. So if a word is stressed and it has only one syllable, what do you circle? The whole word. Yeah, make sure that you circle the whole word. So book, B-O-O-K, is circled, and then case is not. Some of you thought urban was a noun. Maybe you just didn't know the word, was not a problem. And sometimes you circled both nouns and a compound. Was that in a case where it should have been just one stressed part? Okay, so for example, if it's something like convenience store, maybe you circled convenience store. You circled both of them and you didn't put a star on it. So no matter what, every single item has to have an asterisk. 无论如何，每个都要打个星号, because everyone will have at least one stress. And where do you put the asterisk? On which stress? 最后一个重音，对不对? Right? So it's going to have at least one stress. And if it's got only one stress, then where does the asterisk go? On that stress, because 最后一个重音就是它唯一的重音. So 无论如何, in the system that we're using, because we're marking tonic stress, no matter what, you need you need exactly one asterisk. So if there's only one syllable circled, put the asterisk to the upper right-hand corner of that. If there are two syllables circled, where does the asterisk go? On the first or second? The second one, the last one, obviously. So make sure that you're identifying compound nouns correctly. They have only one stress. And however many stresses an item has, put the asterisk by the final item, or the only one if there's only one. Okay, I think that's about it for that. In the notes, which I haven't returned to you because I just got them, I'll give them back to you next time, which will be next Monday. Some people had trouble with the symbol for the glottal stop. This is the correct symbol for a glottal stop. Everybody pay attention, because a lot of you write it in a funny way. And I notice this every year. First of all, don't do this. 下面不要加一横. The reason is because there is another symbol that looks like this. 那一横是在不是在最底部，那个好瘦啊，我们就写一点。There is a symbol that looks like this. Look in the front inside cover of your textbook. Look in the front inside cover. And look at the other symbols in the middle of the page, the front inside cover. There's a kwang kwang, right? There's a box. Everybody find it? I know it's Monday. I know it's Monday. All right, so the box in the middle, and it says other symbols. And look in the first column, the last two items. What do you see? It says voiced, epiglottal fricative, and epiglottal plosive. 对不对? Everybody find it? And it looks sort of like a glottal stop, right? But it's got this line. One of them is, the symbol is facing to the right. That's the epiglottal plosive. And the other one is the same thing, but reversed. So it looks like this. 对不对? And that's the voiced epiglottal fricative. Now, this does not look so much like this, but if you're careless, or if the person reading it is just not sure, they won't know what you mean. So please, no line at the bottom of your glottal stop. Just write it like this. And what is this symbol? Everybody? What's it called? Tap. It's called a tap. And what is a tap? A tap is, we don't know really the term allophone yet. At least from this class, you should know it from Yugai. But it's a variant of the letter T in English. So if you say take, that's a T, that's aspirated. But if it's got vowels around it, then it sounds like a very short D. So water, water, the water. This is a symbol for that sound. It's called a tap. In Americanist systems, some people call it a flap. I don't like that, but you will see it. Okay, that's a tap. A lot of people confuse these two symbols. This one is a glottal stop. And the second one is a tap. They are not the same. Although both can be an allophone of T. So, for example, take, aspirated T, take, no problem. Hit. What kind of a sound do we call that? What kind of a stop is it? Hit. I didn't say hit. I said hit. What kind of a stop is that? Unreleased, right? And as Jamie said, it's confusing because the Chinese is 不出组. It sounds negative and it's a little confusing, but just remember it. 气没有放出来，没有把那个阻碍的地方除掉. That's called an unreleased stop. If I put a word after that starts with a consonant, it's going to change again. Instead of hit me, we often say hit me. Hit, hit, What kind of a sound is that? Hit me. Hit, What sound is that? It's a glottal stop. It's an opening and closing of the vocal folds. Remember, the glottis is the opening there. So a glottal stop 就是 glottal stop, 不是 glottal stop. A glottal stop. 声带会一开一合这样子. That's a glottal stop. So hit me. My tongue is not touching my alveolar ridge. So hit me, hit, That's called a glottal stop. Okay? Is that clear? And that's different from a T between two vowels, which sounds like a very short D. Water. Water. My tongue is touching, is that right? That's the tap. So hit me, or is he coming? It. 母音开头的字，其实在念母音之前，会有个 glottal stop 出现。Listen. Is he coming? Egg. Elephant. 其实它的起步的那个地方就是有一个的音 That's a glottal stop. Glottal stop is the sound you make, remember, when a basketball hits your tummy or when you imagine it. That's a glottal stop. But a tap sounds like a short D. Is this all clear? Because a lot of you, yeah, Jamie. What about what? B-O-T-T. That's not a word. O-M. For some reason, those two words get mixed up in Taiwan all the time. All the time. 所以刚刚拼错了，其实也就是个例子。So why don't we sort them out one more time? Two different pronunciations of the T. Which one is this? Is this the tap or the glottal stop? 它夹在两个母音当中. It's a tap. So listen carefully. It's not bottom, the way we say it usually. It's bottom. T. Sorry, it becomes a tap. Bottom. Everyone, bottom. 千万不要忘记那个 M, 不要念 N. Okay, a lot of people, first of all, they mix up the final M and N. And second, the T 的不同的 allophone, 他也搞不清楚. So remember, bottom, remember the M? T between two vowels, bottom, bottom, bottom. Now here it happens to also be between two vowels, but the difference is we haven't learned this rule yet. We'll learn it later. 后面是 N, 后面是 N 跟后面是 M, 差别就很大了. Because with M, T 跟 M 的 place of articulation 一样不一样? T is what kind of a sound? What's the place of articulation? Alveolar, right? And M is bilabial. 这两个 place of articulation 不一样. That's why this one is a tap. How about T and N? Is the place of articulation the same or different? Both of them are what? Both are alveolar. 是因为 place of articulation 是一样，而且这个是一个 schwa. That's why this one is not a tap. It's but, but, 前面可以有 glottal stop, 也可以有 unreleased T, but, unreleased T, right? Everybody try but, Or you can also use the glottal stop there. Both are correct. But 也可以 but 也可以。后面还有一个 glottal stop. But All right, so 这两个对我们来说差了10万8千里。But in Taiwanese English, the two are confused all the time. Is that right? 你们自己可能也有过，听别人讲也会 confused. Once more, how do we say it? Bottom. So this is ah. Remember, a lot of 所谓的 short O. It's the way they teach kids in the U.S. and also England, probably. No, it's a little bit different. Anyway, this 所谓的 short O is an ah, like in father. So everybody, bottom. 这个不一样的母音哦。这是到 V, it's wedge. B, ba. 母音不一样，这个子音不一样，词尾的 nasal 也不一样，3个地方都不一样。所以 native speaker 会觉得，这两个怎么会 confused？ 差那么多。But it's just like，我要你，我咬你。外国人也会 confuse 这两个东西，你就奇怪，这两个怎么可能会 confused， right？ 我要你我咬你 ，all right？ 以前看过那些学华语的那个外国人演戏的时候，就把这个当做一个笑话用。Okay, so bottom, button. 停顿一下，后面其实两个喉舌音或者一个 T 一个喉舌音或者两个喉舌音的念法都可以 ，button 或者 button 听起来都差不多。Okay, bottom, button. Okay, did that answer your question, Jamie? Thank you. Anything else? A lot of you are still confused. Okay, the environment in which the glottal stop occurs. What we know so far, 主要是两个 environment 什么时候会有 glottal stop? Any word that starts with a vowel, especially if it's at the beginning of a sentence or an utterance, it starts with a glottal stop. That's one way we use it. For example, like I said, is he coming? Or an airplane just flew overhead. 只要是母音开头的字，然后呢，可能是那一段话的第一个字，前面那个母音的开头其实是个 glottal stop 做起步，就好像在赛跑的时候，你的脚可能会靠着一个水泥块，然后你用那个来起步 ，glottal stop 有这个功能，这是第一个。第二个呢，是一个音节是 T 词尾。然后呢，下一个音节是子音开头的 ，like hit me becomes hit me。OK， 这个字最后一个音是 T， 下一个字或者下一个音节是子音开头的 ，hit me、hit Robert、hit Mary、hit George， 只要是下面那个字是子音开头，前面那个音节的最后一个音就是 T 啊，那个会念作 glottal stop。Is that clear? Anybody have questions? This is kind of important. This is the kind of stuff we do in phonetics. And 加拿大人说 about the house， 这个叫做什么？这个现象 ？Raising or rising? Raising, watch out. Raising and rising are two different words. Which one is intransitive? Which one is 不及物动词 ？Raise or rise?Rise 东西升起来，那个是 rise。我把它提高了，那是 raise。那是他们把舌头提高了，不是他自己这样子，无意间就升起来了，不是这样子。However, the two can sometimes have the same meaning, and sometimes they're different in British and American. Because in America we talk about a pay raise, I got a raise. In Britain, it's a rise, I got a pay rise. 所以同一个东西在美国叫 raise， 在英国叫 rise。所以这个要留意。Again, to remind you, I know it's habit, but we don't use a single E for the diphthong AE. Put a short I after it. We don't use a single O for OU. Put a short U after it. Sophie also mentioned some confused ideas of differences in American and British English. There probably were a bunch of different examples. 你要留意美式英式不一样，你要很明确，不要随便写啊，这个是英式用法什么，然后搞不清楚是什么。If I ever mention anything, well, they do it different in Britain. Pay attention and get every sound right. Spell it correctly, get the expression correct. 你要留意，因为差一个字，整个都不一样了。You must be very, very precise. And if you didn't hear it, what did you do? What do you do? 听不清楚干嘛？要做什么？ Raise your hand. Yeah, if you didn't hear it clearly, just raise your hand. We'll repeat it, or ask me, or ask one of the TAs during the break, Sophie especially. But just come to me during the break or ask during class. It'll probably help other people. A lot of you don't understand the rules for adding plural endings in English. It's not just plurals, but it's also what? Adding a final S to a word. When we use S as a suffix, there are 3 different situations when we do that. What are they? First of all, I said one is plural, right? Singular plural. So book, books, bag, bags, bush, bushes, 对不对？这是一种情况是 plural. What are the other 2? I'm thinking of this concert that I went to last night. It was really high, you know, the singers were jumping around and everyone started dancing. And then I come to Monday morning. Okay. This is nothing like the concert last night. Okay, so 我们的规则是什么? First of all, what are the 3 situations when we add S to a word? Plural. Second is third person singular of verbs, right? I look, you look, he looks, right? And then the third situation is the book's cover, the bag's handle, the bush's leaves. What is it? Possessive, right? So we've got 3 totally different grammatical forms that use the same sound, right? So plurals, third person singular of verbs, plus possessive, 所有个 all of them add a final S phoneme. 可是那个 S 的形式是要看什么? What does it depend on? What form of the S we use depends on what? What 3 forms of S do we use? Forms are actually allophones. We're going to talk about allophones in chapter 2. But S 有3种不同的呈现，不同的呈现是 allophone。S 本身是 phoneme， 它是一个类型，可是它这个类型下有不同的呈现。The 3 forms, the 3 realizations of S are what? Book 的复数是什么? Books, and it sounds like, and it is voiced or voiceless? Voiceless, right? How about bag? Bags, and that often gets ignored in Taiwan English. All z's tend to get ignored in Taiwan English in general. It's a blanket ignoring of a sound. But because g is voiced, how about, let's say, row? 一排, what's the plural? Rose, 不是玫瑰哦, rose. 因为母音所有的母音都是 voiced, 所以加 s 那个 s 的呈现是什么? 就是 z 是 voiced, right? And how about bush? 草丛有很多棵的话加什么? Bushes, is. 然后你们学的是 is bushes. It's not wrong. It's just not the way I usually say it. I do use is sometimes, but usually, I'm going to take this off. Okay, a lot of this is repeated, but I think there's a lot of confusion, especially people who are not my former students. So, if the final sound is voiceless like book, we get books. If the final sound is voiced like in bag, we get bags. If the final sound is what, we get us. Now, I use us more often. I don't usually use is. It's not, excuse me, I shouldn't use parentheses here. I'll just put it over here. This is not the one I usually use. Is. I wanted to put it in parentheses, meaning that I don't use it so much. You learned in school in your textbooks bushes, right? Kisses, etc. 是吗? 你们学的是 is that right? Good, thank you for your response. But I usually say us, and I think it's more common in American English. We also use this. This is very common in British English. 英式一般都用 is. 美式我想主流是用 us 比较多. Under what circumstances do we add us? We know that if it's a final voiceless sound, it's s. If it's a final voice sound, it's z. Under what circumstances do we use uz? All right, we have a name for that group of sounds. How many of them are there? If it ends in what? If a word ends in, first of all, s, if it ends in s, or if it ends in the voiced version of s, which is z, or if it ends with sh, or if it ends with zh, the voiced version of sh, or if it ends with an affricate, everybody remembers that's an affricate, or the voiced affricate, j. Okay. If it ends with any one of these sounds, we have to put a vowel before the final uz. Vowels are voiced. Schwa 也是一个 vowel, 也是 voiced. 所以 voiced 后面的 s 要变 z. The reason we do it is because it's a kind of dissimilation. It's a kind of dissimilation. If we say, for example, bus, and we want two of them, we say bus. We can't hear the second s. It just sounds like you have a pronunciation problem, right? You stutter or something like that. Because the s sounds too much like this, so we make it a little different so we can hear it. We make it different by putting in a vowel. 这样子可以凸显出它的 z 啊，后面是有加另外一个 sibilant. Okay, and these sounds as a group are called sibilants. Sibilant 的中文是丝音，丝音，慢条斯理的斯加个口字边。可是大陆的翻译有一点不一样，是一个丝绸的丝加个口字边。OK， 那是大陆的翻译，据我所知。OK， 丝音 because they sound like s. These are the 6 sibilants. If a word ends with one of these, the final s ending becomes an extra syllable. We add a schwa, and the final sound is z because schwa is voiced, so the sound after it needs to be voiced as well. So this is something you should have learned on your own, but it seems like there was plenty of confusion, so I'm going over it in class just so maybe it will be easier to retain. Any questions about this? We will be tested on this. 考试一定会考，所以一定要搞清楚。But the important thing is you need this to speak English correctly, because if you don't know the rule, you will say things like there are lots of bushes, and it sounds really funny.我们会愣一下，这是什么东西？哦 bushes， 它就是不对啊。Okay, all clear? All right, and then we mentioned palato-alveolar, alveolo-palatal. It's kind of confusing to learn both of them at the same time. Remember that P 开头的那个是英文用的那个 palato-alveolar or palato-alveolar, palato-alveolar. That is sh and zh, and also ch and j. Those are affricates, so we don't usually have to worry about classifying them. Sh and zh are palato-alveolar. And someone pointed out that the Chinese should be yin. I said yin because it sounded better to my ears. But we do need to distinguish the two in Chinese. So palatal is or palato is Alveolar is yin, so yin yin is the Chinese. Alveolo-palatal, remember, A 开头的是中文的机器息 and then we will use the yin for that word, okay? Palato-alveolar, yin, alveolo-palatal, 机器息 yin Okay, and Sophie made a really good observation, something that Taiwanese wouldn't normally notice, but I'm glad you did. 很多人写 Z 的时候是写一个 bar. Don't do that. Stop from today. 今天开始那个 Z 不要加 bar, okay? 不要加一横. They do this in Germany. I picked it up when I was in Germany. But if you do anything to an IPA symbol, it may change the value. 可能会被当作一个 diacritic, 加个额外的意义，那个音可能就变了。So 从是 Z 不加一横. Everyone clear? All right. A trill is not a trial, 不是审判。And a trill is not a thrill. 哦，好有快感，都不是。T-R-I-L-L, trill. And I checked this again. I had checked it many times before. But I say 颤音 because that's the dictionary word, but that's mainly a mainland Chinese pronunciation that I've kept. 在中文，在台湾的词典里面是念战，没有错，战斗着。But 颤是右音，它另外一个读法。因为我 查的很多书是那个大陆的，所以我就是我一直习惯用颤音。But in theory, I suppose 颤音 is okay in Taiwan. 大陆会偏向用颤音。Okay, that's all the notes. Thank you very much to Sophie for all of your careful checking. Do we have any questions before we continue? Anything from your work? Okay, please hand in your notes from last week. We'll pick up your notes now. Okay, you have an assignment to practice 汉语拼音. We plan to finish the chapter today, and I don't see why we shouldn't. There's not that much left. We just have to get to work. I will show you the page quickly. It's the first sentence of the parrot story. Everybody pay attention. This is an assignment. The first sentence of the parrot story, I would like you to write it out in 汉语拼音. Please be very careful because there is a 现象 of 所谓的台湾 sloppy. 你写完了就不太注意，不太留意，也不会回想说tutorial 里面叫你注意哪些东西. Just please be very, very careful. For 汉语拼音, there are a couple of things I want you to watch out for. The tone mark goes over which vowel? You need to pay attention to this because in Chinese we have a lot of diphthongs. Is that right? What are the diphthongs in Mandarin? That's how you say diphthong. I said, what are the diphthongs in Mandarin? Just go through 注音符号 and you'll find them very quickly. I, A, Ao, O. All right, those are the ones to remember because they will help you place the tone mark. 那个调符啊，要放在哪个母音上 ？I, A, Ao, O 有两个母音的符号，对不对？ So where do you put the tone mark? For that group, I, A, Ao, O 你就记得就是放在第一个。So for I, it goes over the A. A, it goes over the E. Ao goes over the A. O goes over the U. Or over the O, sorry, not the U. So I, A, Ao, O 你就记得那四个。You always put the tone mark in the same place. 其他的像 U, well, that's not even a good pronunciation. Like 六，那个也是一个双母音六。So how do you spell it and where do you put the tone mark? 六, how do you spell it? L-I-U. L-I-U. All right? In 注音符号 it's basically L-I-O, 对不对？可是汉语拼音不是 L-I-O-U, 那个 O 不要了。And the second part of the question is, where does the tone mark go? Go over the I or over the U? Over the U. We call that the main vowel. 那是主要元音，主要母音。When you start using Chinese linguistics terminology, they say 元音跟辅音。元音，元旦的元 is a vowel, 辅音 is a consonant. So always put the tone mark over the main vowel, 主要元音要放调符。And if it is not I, A, Ao, O, 不是其中之一的话，那应该是在右边的那个，不是第一个，是第二个。Chinese has something else, and that is 三母音。Can you give an example of a 三母音 in Mandarin? 中文有，比方说包、否、非 and etc. What kind of can you give me an example of a 三母音？香，香是不是？是一啊一啊 I count only two. 后面不是个母音。There we go. 标 Somebody must remember that from my class because that's my example. I always give that example. 标，对不对？标准的标，一啊乌三母音，同一个音节里面三个母音，那是中文的三母音。Those are easy, 因为它其实有两个很简单的方法可以用来记。后面是凹，对不对？那凹母音一定是在 R 还是 O？R, right. And then the other way to remember it, 三母音你就选当中那个就对了。看到三母音就是当中那个就对了。Okay? So that's about tone marks. There are a couple other tricks, like we just noticed with Leo, EO， 那其实是个三母音，那个 U 就是要当，反正要画调符，那个其实本身就是一个双母音。All right, now how do you say 为什么 ？How do you spell 为什么的为？为什么的为 ？How do you spell it? W-E-I. Good. Okay. 调符。I-A-R-O-I-A. It goes here, right? Now, how do you spell 鬼？这边 A 是一样的，对不对？然后这边也有 U 的音。U 的音如果是第一个音的时候，你记得要写 W， 不是一个 U， 是一个 W。How about 小鬼的鬼 ？How do we spell it? And don't say G, it's G. G, right? Okay, G. W or U? U， 因为它不是第一个字母，所以是 U。然后呢 ？Very good， 它不是 EI， 它会简化很多三母音。So 鬼，然后呢 ，I 上面有调符的时候不用写点，这个是鬼。And you also have to watch out for Y as well. For example, B 破的 B 是这样子，可是1、2、3的1怎么写 ？Y-I， 记得它如果只有一个 E 的音的时候，第一个字母就是 Y。So this is a little confusing. How about 乌来的乌 ？W-U， 这是中文有点不对称的地方。因为乌来的乌前面你有没有感觉有 W 的？有没有 W 的音？乌是乌还是乌 ？All right, the first one or the second one？ 乌还是乌？第一个、第二个？乌还是乌 ？A or B? One or two? You like 乌来？乌来还是乌来？第一个、第二个？哎，你们又变了。为什么不一样啊？我刚说乌还是乌，你说乌比较好。可是我说乌来还是乌来，你说乌来比较好，这什么道理 ？Can anybody explain this? Can anybody explain it? Please think about it. I'll talk to you during break because you guys are kind of not quite awake to the new week yet. So, please think about it and tell me what you think. 我刚说乌还是乌好，你说乌比较好。可是我说乌来好还是乌来好？你说乌来比较好，是不是 ？Please think about that. But one thing I can tell you is that this W sound is very unstable. It's very unstable in Taiwan Mandarin. I can't speak for China because I haven't listened to enough mainland Chinese. I think it's more stable in Beijing Mandarin. But for Taiwan Mandarin, 乌还是乌，这是相当不稳定。那另外一个不对称的是1、2、3 ，almost nobody says 1、2、3，对不对 ？Do you say 一个人有吗？少数的人会讲，像高天恩老师有，可是多数的人不说一个人 ，it's 一个人。前面是什么音？一之前还有一个音 ，what is it? Glottal stop, right? So just like in English. Before a vowel in Chinese, you usually get a glottal stop. 一个人，不是一个人。一个人。Hear the difference? Right. 台湾都是一个人比较多 ，OK? So 这两个有点不对称。W 比较会出现乌来，你们觉得可以，可是一个人你觉得怪怪的。Y 跟 W 其实是很类似的音，可是在中文的表现。很不一样，不对称。I'm just telling you， 你们要留意这个东西。可是写的时候怎么样，还是要写那个 Y， 也要写那个 W。All right, another problem with 汉语拼音 is, do we use an umlaut in 汉语拼音 ？U 上面的两点，因为中文有 U 这个音 ，is that right? Right. So in Wade Giles， 就是威妥玛是以前的，我们现在没有花很多时间在上面，因为很多人不用。如果是多余的余，它可能会这样子写。How about in 拼音 拼音需要那2点吗 ？Never? When? When do we use the umlaut in 汉语拼音 Louder, please. Yeah. N? Very good. The only time we need the U umlaut in 汉语拼音 is after N or L. Because, is this a word in Chinese? What is it? 努力的努, right? And how about this? 卤肉饭的卤, right? Or it could be a lot of other things. So if you want to say girl, then you have to what? 女孩子，因为努跟女。N 后面可以有 u， 可以有 ü. How about L? 卤肉饭的卤。How about 驴子? Right? Donkey? We need to show that it's ü and not u. For the other words, why do we not need to add the umlaut? 其他的为什么不用加那2点 For example, what is this word? Oops, sorry, main vowel. What is this word? 需要 right. X 后面的那个 u 要不要加2点 Why not? Because after she, can we have an u sound? Shu. Try to say xi 加 u. Is that Chinese? No. It's impossible. The only 2 sounds where we can have either u or ü are N and L. 其他的只要看到 u, 它要不然是这是什么字？书，读书的书。然后呢，这个有 x 的话，需要的需，因为机器系后面它只能接2种母音 ，What are they？ 机器系后面只能接2种母音 ，Which are they？ e and ü， 机器系后面只能接这2个 ，and there's a reason for it， 是因为 they're palatal。palatal 的话，它后面接的也是个 palatal 的母音，这是有历史原因的，而且是有 articulatory phonetic 的原因的。Did everybody understand that? You're not writing this down. This is important stuff. 真的很重要。因为中文的那个整个系统有点互补，支持式后面可不可以放 ü？ 可不可以放 e？ Try to say 之 plus e. 之 plus ü. Does it work? 可以吗 No. So if we have an e or ü, we don't use 支持式 we use 机器系。Now, phonologists will discuss 是哪2个会构成一个对称的，不完全对称，可是哪2个会变成是互补的2组？到底是支持式日应该搭配机器系，还是支持式应该搭配机器系？是哪2个关系比较近？你说 ？You can argue about it all you want. People have written papers and papers and papers about this. 我觉得是蛮无聊的一个题目，不要一直讲，对不对？因为机器系后面是只能放 e 跟 ü， 支持式不能放 e 跟 ü， 所以那2个搭配起来是，你可以说是一对。可是支持式后面可不可以放 e 或 ü？ 诗后面可不可以加 ü？ 需要，那好像是东南亚来的。我需要，So 那个也是，那2组也可以放在一起。那到底应该是哪一个搭配机器系 ？Never mind. OK， 不用讲，这个没有太大的意义了。Some people really love talking about that stuff, but I don't. But the point is, you have to remember， 机器系后面你要写 u 的话，写个 u 的话，它绝对是 ü 的意思，一定是那个音。All right, that's what I have to say about 汉语拼音. You have an assignment. In addition. I guess I forgot to mention it. Also read romanization page 3. 就是罗马拼音第3. All right. Next, get your exercises. Oh, no, not that. We're going to finish chapter 1. Then we'll do the exercises. Okay. Let's go. Whose turn?
I'm Claire. The tongue is fairly close to the roof of the mouth for the vowel in heat. You can feel that this is so by breathing inward while holding the target position for this vowel.
Okay, just a minute. First of all, tongue.
Tongue.
Yeah, everyone tongue. Tongue. Practice that one because some of you are still saying funny things for this word like tone or something. Tongue. 疼痛的 tongue, open your mouth wider. Tongue. 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 舌根音或舌后音. It's velar. Okay? I'd like you to try it again. Let's try to get really precise.
Tongue.
The whole sentence?
A whole?
Yeah. 继续，就是你原来念的，重念一次。
The tongue is fairly close to the roof of the mouth.
Okay, tongue is fairly your R. Watch the R. And to the, 不要 to a, to the, to 舌头. So one more time.
The tongue is fairly
Yes.
close to the roof
To the.
roof of the mouth for the vowel in heat.
Heed.
You can feel that this is so by breathing.
So, by 是不是一个介词，对不对？所以 by 那介词之前要干嘛？ What do you do before a preposition? Pause. 对，因为你刚刚断句让我觉得你没有听懂这句话，所以你断句要注意。You can feel that this is so. 你可以感觉到确实是这个样子。That's what it means. 因为刚才念的好像你没有听懂。So you can feel that this is so. 你可以感觉得到，确实是这个样子哦。透过什么呢？ So try it again. You can feel.
You can feel that this is so by breathing inward while holding the target position for this vowel.
Okay, holding. Watch the L. Holding. Though lots of English speakers no longer pronounce that L, especially in Britain. Holding. 英式现在变得很常听到。然后呢 position 那个 S 到底是 voice 还是 voiceless? Everybody please mark this because many of you say position. We understand it. 可是会愣一下。Get it right. We're here to get it right. All right? So I'm here to be picky. You're here to be picky. So we're going to be picky. Position. It's not position. You're going to have to start learning. 你要开始特别留意，然后背哪一些字那个 S 念 Z， 像 rose R-O-S-E， 它没有留，一定要念 Z， 可是它就是在念 Z。如果不是一个词尾的话，你就是要背，没有别的办法，你就是要背，要留意。This is position, okay? Go ahead.
Target position for the vowel. Slightly less close for the vowel in heat.
In hid. Good. Yeah.
For this and most
Not this. Yeah.
And most other vowels.
不是 most, that's 英式 most. Mo. Yeah.
Most.
Yeah.
Most other vowels. It is difficult to localize the position.
No, the first 不是 posi. Okay, good. Position. There, perfect. Good.
By breathing inward, the articulators are too far apart.
The articulators.
The articulators
Say
are
the. No, that's an L. We don't want L. We want the. That's it. Yeah.
The articulators are too far apart. Are too far apart.
Okay, I'm picking on your R's. Now, many English speakers do not have R's after their vowels, but we're not learning British English or Australian English or South African English. We're learning American English. So I want you to get in the habit of putting your R's in. You can take them out again in the future if you want to change to British English. But I want you to learn one accent consistently. 你就把一种英文学得很一致，不要说一点英式，一点美式，一点什么式 ，OK？ 我们现在就全部美式。Nobody in the class has insisted on speaking British. If you did, I would encourage you to keep speaking British. But right now, as far as I can tell, everybody is using American. So let's be consistent. After the vowel, you see an R, pronounce an and it has to be pretty strong to hear it. So R. Go ahead.
And lower still for the vowels.
And lower still.
And lower still for the vowels the vowels in head and head.
Okay, head.
Head.
Good. All right. And the way that I learned, remember I told you in freshman English 发现的那个方法，怎么样不要念到去，下颚不要动。Okay, everybody, head, had, head. 下颚几乎都不要动. You get it perfect, absolutely perfect. All right. I know the bell has rung, but let's finish this paragraph so we can get a start on finishing the chapter. First of all, we started talking about front vowels. What are the front vowels? Among our list here, we have 7 vocabulary items, single syllable words. So which ones contain a front vowel? Heed, hid, head, had, that's the end. There are actually more front vowels if you include diphthongs, but for now it's just these 4. These are the front vowels, because if you look at that figure at the top of page 21, you see that, why do we call them front? What is the tongue doing? Part of the tongue is arched, it's domed. 舌头有个地方是有点翘起来，它这种鼓起来。它鼓起来的地方比较靠近前面的那些母音叫做前母音，叫做 front vowels. So are the front vowels. 舌头翘起来的地方很靠近你的那个前面，嘴巴的前面。Okay? So those are the front vowels. Now it says that for the tongue is quite close to the roof of the mouth. 舌头很靠近上颚，念的时候。And it says, how can we feel it? Again, you can suck air in, and you will feel cool air along your tongue, where it's very close to the hard palate. Okay, so everybody say e. All right, now don't move your tongue and suck air in. E. 有没有觉得舌头当中凉凉的？有没有？ You could do it for to also feel the position that's closest to the hard palate. But it doesn't work so well with because. So try with hid, everyone, All right, second, Everything gets cool then. Why is that? 因为这两个 surface 离得太远。 就变得说一种广泛的凉，不是说两个最靠近的地方会凉，是因为离的距离已经太远了，所以你吸空气的时候，整个舌头都凉凉的。So that method only works really well if your tongue is very close to something else. 舌头很靠近另外一个地方的时候，你可以用这个吸入空气来大概知道两个最靠近的部分是在哪里。Everyone understand? 可以吗 ？So for you can probably do it for 因为也很高。可是舌头离另外一个 surface 太远的时候，就这个方法没什么用。So the tongue is fairly close to the roof of the mouth. You can feel You can feel it when you suck in air. Then your tongue goes down a little bit to make I. So let's compare the two. Everybody say I, and then say I. Say them, go back and forth between I and I. Go. I. What's your tongue doing for I? Annie? It's moving downward, right? 舌头有点降低了一点，来念 I. E is a high vowel, I is a bit lower. And then if we go to so compare E to I and then all three. What did your tongue do? Even lower, and then go to that's the lowest vowel we have among the front vowels. So that's what he's saying. Front vowels, according to height, E, I, A. E is the highest, A is the lowest. The other two are in between. Okay? Go ahead.
If you look in the mirror while saying the vowels in these four words,
Four
words, you will
four words.
four words.
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 Words. Words again.
These four words.
Start high. 因为我们那个句末不是下降吗？ These 4 words. Try it.
These 4 words.
Good, but are we finished? No. So after we go down, words, words.
Words.
There we go. Now words 后面记得是字典的字 not words, words, words. 后面放个字典的字 Okay, again.
These 4 words.
Words. Words.
Words.
There you go. Okay.
You will find that the mouth becomes progressive.
Becomes your M. Everybody mark that M and becomes, not becomes. Becomes.
Becomes
Good.
progressively more open, while the tongue
while
the tongue remains in the remains.
Everyone say that word. Remains. Yeah, don't say remains. Okay, remains. Good.
In the front of the mouth.
Say remains again.
Remains.
That's good. Yeah.
Remains in the front of the mouth.
Okay, we've already done that. If you have a mirror, 女生都有，有些男生也有，我知道。因为根据往年的经验，有些男生就马上就拿出来。Okay, so if you have a mirror, just take it out. 刚好有镜子就拿出来。Go ahead, ladies. Guys, if you have one, you can too. Don't be embarrassed. And ladies, you can share it with a guy if you're sitting next to a guy. Okay, get your mirror out. A mirror is a handy thing to have for phonetics. So guys, if you were shy about bringing a mirror, say it's for my phonetics class, so don't make fun of me. Yeah, so guys, you have an excuse now to bring a mirror. So say E, I, A, slowly. Watch your mouth slowly opening wider. Watch it in your mirror. Go, E. E, can you see it? Go backwards. E. See your mouth opening and closing. All right, mirrors are useful, so it's good to have one with you for this class. If you really want one, I have lots of old ones from old makeup and things. So if you want a mirror, just ask me. I'll bring one to class. Okay, go ahead.
The vowel in heat is classified as a high front vowel.
Good. Us is okay, but get in the habit of saying as. As. In Taiwan, they always teach us, but in fact, we often need the full vowel as. Everyone classified as a. Yeah, don't always say us. I talked to another American friend teaching English, and she got really irritated by it because everybody says us. All right, classified as a.
Classified as a high front vowel.
All right, that's something you have to memorize. E is a high front vowel. Memorize that. E. You don't really have to slibei because all you have to do is remember this progression in your mouth. Test it out yourself. Feel it. Look in the mirror. All right, high front vowel. Go ahead.
And the vowel in had as a low front vowel.
All right, low front vowel. So now we know that a is a low front vowel. E, they're the two extremes. E is a high front vowel. A is a low front vowel. 考试一定会考. So make sure you know these. And then
the height of
the
height of the tongue for the vowels in the other words is between these two extremes.
Extremes.
Mm-hmm. And they are therefore called mid front vowels.
Mid. Not meet. Mid. No. 不是 E 是 I. Right. Now 后面不是 T 是 D. Mid. There we go.
Mid front vowels.
That's better.
The vowel in heat.
In 不是 in. Yeah.
The vowel in heat.
Good. Well, that was really good.
Is a mid.
Yeah.
Mid high vowel.
Mid high vowel.
And the vowel in had.
In 不是 in.
In had.
In. Yes.
And the vowel in
see habit. 你念的时候在句子里面都会恢复原状. That's just habit. So in. Vowel in. See? That's how powerful habit is. A habit is so powerful. You have to really stop and think for a while. It'll be days or months, but you have to do it for a while, and then it will be automatic. So the vowel in hid.
The vowel in
In 你还是很容易 in
in
no in
in
yeah
the vowel in
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 I,
in in
yeah, that's good.
the vowel in
See, it's so hard to change. Yeah, 这个变成完全自动化，你现在要把另外一个东西变自动化。The vowel in hid.
the vowel in head
Not head, hid.
hid
我们现在是 head 吗？
head
我们现在还是 hid 不是吗？哦 head， 我们现在聊 head 了。OK， 好。
The vowel in head
Good. Okay.
is a mid-low vowel.
Is a
mid
mid. Yeah.
mid-low vowel.
All right. Okay. I know you're reading and you were busy, but try to remember what we went over and put it in your notes. Because these are very common words. They're tiny words and you think they don't really matter, but they do. The tiny words also need to be pronounced correctly. We don't say li or la, we say the. We don't say for, we say for. We don't say in, we say in. Yeah, we don't say in. 它不是一，后面也不是舌根音。So in. Yeah, okay. And head, don't say had. Remember, don't move your jaw. Head. Okay. So let's just sort this out and then you'll take a quick break. Now we already know that E is a high front vowel. A is a. We've got two in the middle, so how do we classify them? I is a mid-high front vowel. Mid-high. 半高的。另外一个是半低的。So here, I is a mid-high front vowel. Once more. I is a. Okay, you're starting to wake up. That's good. One more time louder so I know you're awake. I is a. Very good. You want your break, don't you? And then is a mid-low front. Okay, you won your break. Take a break. During the break, we had two questions. One was from Julia, one from Stanley. The difference between these two, does everybody know the difference clearly? Because I know from my students' pronunciation, a lot of you have trouble distinguishing these two. What is the difference between these two? We now have terms to classify them. So this one is called manner of articulation is. What is the manner of articulation of this symbol? Not place, manner. Place and manner, you guys need that for the test. Place of articulation is, for example, bilabial, alveolar, velar, etc. That's place of articulation. If I say manner of articulation, it's going to be either what? Stop, fricative, approximant, and affricate. 对 affricate 是一个复合的，是一个 stop 加上 fricative. So sometimes we don't even bother mentioning affricate, but it's a useful term. So what is the manner of articulation of this sound? This is a fricative. And then how about this one? What's the manner of articulation? It's an affricate. Now, knowing the theory should help you be able to figure out the actual pronunciation. With a fricative can be classified as a, do you remember? 我们有一个二元的一个对比. The opposite of stop is continuant, right? Continuants include what? Vowels? All vowels are continuants. What else? Continuant, 延续音, 包括母音, 元音. Put this in your notes. This will also be in some test. Stop 是一种类型，跟它不一样的有对应关系的是 continuant， 延续音是一成不变，一直持续着。Okay, I'm giving you another reading assignment. Write it down. The question was the difference between these two. This is again, place of manner of articulation. Fricative. And don't say fricative. It's fricative. Fricative. And this is an affricate. All right, what's the difference? An affricate is 色擦音，一个色音加一个擦音。Now, in practical terms, this is a continuant. Is this a continuant? No, 这 is not a continuant. Part of it is a continuant, but when you put the two together, 它的性质可能比较接近色音。它的性质是比较接近色音。So for je, because it's a continuant, we can pronounce it and just keep on going till we run out of breath, and nothing really changes. 它一直都很一致的一个声音。So, and it's very easy if you have trouble with it. You keep saying je by accident or by habit. The easy way to do it is just say sh. Everybody can say sh. No one has trouble with that. So say sh. Now add voicing. There it is. There's zh. So just take a sh and add voicing, and that's a zh. There's no d sound at all. It's not j. So we say usually. We don't say usually. Some people say usually. It's incorrect. It's usually. Usually. It's a continuant. 它没有性质不一样的音斗在一起，全部从头到尾是一成不变。另外一个是前面是色音，后面接一个擦音。So we have a 很唐突的一个 stop, but it happens fast, so sometimes it's hard to catch. But it's d 加 r, 真的是这两个音放在一起的。You can use a waveform and try it yourself. You will see a d followed by a r, though it's very fast. So it's j, and it's just like 这是什么的这，中文的这是什么的这。这 Everybody say 这是什么的这 Go 这 That's 这 OK 英文的这就是那个样子 Especially in Taiwan Mandarin 因为你们不是这是什么对不对没有这么念所以那个台湾的这是什么的这很像英文的这 So 色擦音有个的一个 stop 然后后面才有 fricative 然后它比较容易断掉这 like judge it's done比较像 stop 的性质，虽然它也有 fricative 的部分。那日呢就不是 ，for example genre or beige 米黄色 beige you can do it as long as you have breath. Okay, Julie, did that answer the question? 可以吗 The other question, Stanley brought up a really good point. And I didn't mention one of the possibilities, and I think that was Stanley's point, and I didn't think of it when you were asking. So see if this makes sense to you. E and wu in Mandarin, I said 不对称，因为你们有1、2、3的一，有两种可能的发音，一个是我刚刚说的一个喉式音一个人还可以接受这发音吗？一个人可以吗？Is it okay? 一个人 Yeah.You can also 把喉式音去掉，让它变成一个很平顺的一个人，不是一个人变一个人。You think they're the same？ 因为其实有没有喉式音都一样。这个叫零声母，中文叫做零声母 ，it's a zero initial， 表示说前面也不是一个一，也不是一个喉式音，它就是母音很纯粹的一个母音，就是一个 null sign， 数学里面用的 empty set 的那个符号。语言学里面，声乐学里面的一个叫零声母，就是零100的那个零，声音的声，母亲的母，零声母。所以一可以，可是一个人怪怪的。这个在台湾已经不通行了，打个星号，星号是说不太用。本来是不可以的意思，可是我打星号，意思说在台湾不大会这么讲。乌就不一样了，那我想 Stanley 要跟我讲的，你是零声母乌来乌没有 W， 你就是一个没有喉式音也没有 W 一个零声母。That's what you're trying to say, right? Okay, I will accept that, and I think that's probably the best way to do it. That's the way Chinese linguists analyze it. 我比较会放 W， 搞不好是英文的关系。还有王那个绝对是个 W， 可是因为乌跟 W 发音的位置是一样的。所以你很容易就变成一个零声母的乌来 ，right? Okay, 乌来可以吗 ？Some people say 乌来，那变成一个喉舌音，然后 W 乌来 ，Is that okay too? I want all of you to try these. 这6个就是各自每个人试试看， And I want you to tell me which ones you like best. 赶快是 No, go ahead. 我们从乌开始好了，因为这个比较有争议 OK 争议不是争议乌是完全什么都没有零声母，乌是有喉舌音，乌是有个 W. Let's give them letters. This is A, this is B, this is C. For W or for wu, try all of them. Do you understand the difference? Can you produce each one? Wu, 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 wu. 这三个当然都有 exaggerated. Which ones do you like the best? Which one? A, B, or C for W? You like A, 零声母. Okay, that's a good analysis. How about U, 乌来? Acceptable? 听过吗？没有听过吗？ I hear it all the time, 因为我就住在乌来附近，所以我一天到晚听到乌来，尤其是小朋友，那个乌会念有喉舌音。还有 service, how do you say that? Service in Chinese. 那中间的音是这个还是这个？服务还是服务还是服务？到底哪一个 ？A, B, or C? A lot of you say B. I know. My daughter says B. Okay, she was born in Taiwan. She will say 服务课程。I bet a lot of you say 服务. Is that right? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. How about 服务？什么都没有，就是母音变长。服务。Do you like it or not? Not sure. Okay, excuse me. Okay, 服务什么都没有，就是母音变成说是延长。服务，声调也会变。然后第三个是服务 W， 服务。Okay, listen to the three again. Write these down in some way that you can remember it, because I want you. This is 又是一个功课。这6个，我要你开始观察你周围环境，你自己你选择什么样的音，还有你周围环境，你听到的人他们是怎么说的。Because you think everybody does it this way, but then you find out people are doing it differently than you expect. 尤其是年轻人，变化真的蛮大。And you've also noted other changes, I'm sure, like 外面好热，是不是？外面好热，你们不觉得奇怪？是你自己已经被感染了 ，OK？ 好热，很多人都念好热啊！我要吃肉，吃肉 ，right？ 已经开始变了。我看那个日在台湾可能就会变成了。很可能已经开始了 ，But now 这6个，我要你开始观察，这6个写下来 ，Everybody write it down, and I want you to listen to what you do yourself, because sometimes what you think you do and what you really do are different. Like with me, what I say I do, 然后我有听到说，我好像跟学生讲，我不这么讲，because 你不经过大脑的时候，你就会冒出你平常用的，你经过分析，你可能会说，不是这个音，我平常会这么讲。A lot of Americans will say they never use contractions. Like, I don't use contractions. They say, I don't use contractions. 你听得懂吗？对 ，do not. 他说我不会用 don't 那种词。I don't use contractions. So when you're thinking, you often don't really know what you do when you're not thinking. So 服务这3个。写下来，我要你观察，你听到的是什么 ？In theory, I think Stanley's answer is probably the best. 零声母可能是最好的，可是我觉得另外2个也会听到。Yeah. W 跟什么？对 ，A 跟 C 是真的很近，我真的 I can only exaggerate them. Okay. The first one is 服务，我没有加很重的那个圆唇，然后蛮用力的一个 approximate. So 服务从头到尾是一个母音没有被中断。第2个服务没有问题。那服务是不是嘴唇变得比较紧？服务 ，OK? Got it? All clear? 这6个选择我要你们写下来，开始观察。I will ask you in a future class. So this is really an interesting question. Linguists have not figured it out yet. 我已经听过很多研究声韵学、研究那个语音学的人，他们在问我的意见，我也问他们的意见，因为每个人的分析不太一样。So I want you to look into this. I'll write it down so I don't forget. Okay, those were the questions that came up during break. Anything else before we move on? We really need to continue. Next reader, please.
My name is Amanda. Now try saying the vowel in father.
Try saying the what?
Vowel.
Yeah, I think you missed something. One more time.
Vowels.
Z. That's a Z, not an S. Because L is voiced, right? L 是有声. So everybody, 复数 of vowel is vowel Z. Z. Go ahead.
In father, good food. Figure one.
Figure, not fee. Figure.
Figure 1.12 also shows the articulatory targets for these vowels.
For 你的 R 也要注意.
For these
articulatory targets for these vowels. Okay, look at the back vowels on page 21 at the top. 5, 6, and 7. These are the targets. 这是我们的那个目标, but we don't always exactly reach them. Go ahead.
In all three.
In 不是 in.
In all three. The tongue
In all three.
In all three, the tongue is close to the
Once more, 舌头.
tongue. The tongue is close to the back surface of the vocal tract.
Okay, I'm being really picky, but I think it should help you improve. Close, 因为 S 是无声，所以母音不要 close， 它不会长。关门的那个 close 母音长，因为后面是 voiced。可是形容词 close 无声，母音不长。Everybody close. Close. All right, and then surface. F 是无声 ，R 要念 surface. Okay.
The tongue is close to the back surface of the vocal tract.
Good.
These vowels are classified as back vowels.
Back vowels.
Back vowels.
We don't need to stress vowels because 已经讲过 vowel, 它 old information. And 然后有对比关系，跟 front vowels 有对比关系。And classified.
Classified.
Okay, how? So these vowels are back vowels. Which three vowels are they? Ah, what else? And u. Ah, u. Actually, there's some we haven't mentioned, but we're just going to talk about these three for now.
The body of the tongue is highest in the vowel in food, which is
In food, 第一是有声，
in
不会很长。
food, which is therefore called a high back vowel.
Okay, everybody write down the word called in your notes. Just write down the word C-A-L-L-E-D. Write it down. All right, and then follow my instructions. Everybody look at me. Do this. Just open your mouth and say ah. All right, now say call. Called. Calling. Calls. Call. Called. Don't say cold. Don't say cold. It's called. Okay, how?
Which is therefore called a high back vowel.
All right, so oo. Everybody say the oo. Feel what your tongue is doing. Ooh, high back vowel, and then?
And though is in the first vowel in father, which is
Father.
father.
Yeah, 比较长，啊很长。
Father, which is therefore called a
Called? No, look at called. That's good.
Called
Yeah.
a low back vowel.
Okay, so oo is a go. Oo is a high back vowel. Again, oo is a ah is a okay.
The vowel in good is
Say vowel again.
vowel.
Watch the L. Vowel.
Vowel.
Okay.
The vowel in good is a mid-high back vowel.
All right. Mid, high, back vowel. It's just like what? I is a what? I is a what? Mid, high, front vowel. I is a mid-high front vowel. U is a mid-high back vowel. Let's review those again. All right, I'm going to tell you the vowel. I'll make the sound, and then you tell me what it is, the position in the vocal tract. All right, E. Good. Mid, high, back vowel. We just learned that, so that's the least familiar. Low, front vowel, okay? I. Low, back vowel. Not mid, mid. Yeah? Mid, low, front. Ooh. Low front vowel. Okay, make it nice and clear and loud. Low front vowel. That was good. All right. Mid-low front vowel. Mid-low front vowel. Good. All right, one other thing I want to mention is you learned about long and short vowels, and we've also learned that the way to really distinguish between long and short vowels is it by their actual length. 所谓的长母音、短母音, we learned in a previous class how to distinguish between a short and a long vowel, right? Is it by their actual length? No, not in American English. So what do we use to distinguish between short and long vowels? If it can occur in an open syllable, then it is not short, right? Short vowels cannot occur in an open syllable. That was our definition. That's a phonological definition. It's not phonetic. 我们是用音韵学、声韵学来做个分析，来判断哪一个是长母音，哪个是短母音。这个之外，有一些母音是天生的比较短，有的天生的比较长，跟这个 phonological 的长短母音没有关系。The shortest vowels in American English, 这个跟英式不一样哦。Write this down, this will be useful. There are 4 very short vowels in American English. Can you tell me what they are? The shortest one is schwa. That's short in both varieties. Because it's not stressed, and because it's not stressed, it's short. But how about the full vowels? Which 3 are really short in American English? I, short E, 到3 and 到 V. 在美式英语里面，这3个非常短。Now, 哪一些特别长呢？最长的母音是 So when you read father, or if you read even if the next sound is not voiced, for example, I'm trying to think of one. Spot, S-P-O-T, T 是无声 ，spot 那个还是长，因为是天生很长的母音，跟我们讲的那个 phonological 长短没有关系，有一些就是天生比较长，天生比较短，跟英式不一样。is very long, is also long. 是最长的，也很长，可是很短。Write that down. You're going to need that. 然后你调整你自己的美式发音的话，你必须要留意这些天生比较长、比较短的母音的问题。All right, so let's just review very quickly. I know we're using all our time. We're not going to finish, but I think it's better to be clear than to be fast. So Tell me again if it's what part of the vocal tract it is in, what kind of a vowel it is. Mid-high back vowel. Mid-low front vowel. Again. Ooh. Ah. E. Okay, I think you've got it now. But don't say high front vowel. It's high front vowel. Stop. High front vowel. Everyone? High front vowel. Beautiful. Okay, continue.
The tongue may
Not
be, the tongue may be near enough to the roof of a mouth for you to be able to feel the rush of the cold air.
没有 the. Not of. Everybody write that one next to that other word I reminded you to write down, which was what? Right, called and of 这两个字 called of 不念 of, okay?
The rush of cold air.
Cold air.
When you breathe inward.
这是动词
breathe inward while holding the position for the vowel in food.
Okay, very nice. I know I picked on you a lot, but it was to help you. You did very well. 呼吸这个动词 everybody breathe. 你的呼吸这个名词是 breath. A breath of fresh air. Say it. Breathe easy. Easy 是形容词，可是 breathe easy 是你现在可以放松的意思。Breathe 是动词 breath 是名词。Go ahead. Next.
I'm Carol. Lip gestures vary considerably in different vowels. They are generally close together in the
They are generally what?
Closer. Together in
Together.
Together.
今天我发现很多班上很多那个 th 念作 d together 的，那记得要吐舌头 the. Everyone together. The. This. These. Yeah, 吐舌头 and this is voiced. Go ahead.
Together in
Together.
Together.
Not two. I say t.
Together.
Can you try together?
Together.
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 You're saying two. I don't want two. I want t. Together.
Together.
There we go.
Together in the mid, high, and high back vowels, as in good food. Thought in some forms of American English, this is not so. Look at the position of your lips in a mirror.
In
the mirror.
Right. A lot of you say inga for this phrase. Inga. It should be I. 那后面的 n 你把它搬到 的前面去，变成不是 in a 而变 I n. And that way you won't make a mistake. 第二个是你呢，那个呢，你呢，你呢。So everyone try in. These things you should write down, and then in the future, a lot of you are going to be English teachers. You can fix your students' pronunciations very easily without teaching them phonetics. Just tell them to go from in a, instead of saying in a, say in a, and the problem is fixed. Okay, how? Right.
In the mirror.
Mirror. Everyone watch this word. Mirror. 不是 mirror, 是 mirror. Good.
In the mirror, while you say just the vowels in head, had, father, good, food. You will probably find that in the last two words, there is a movement of
In the last.
Find that in the last two words, there is a movement of the lips in addition to
in 一样的，跟刚刚那个 in 是一样，连音 in addition. Right, good, very good.
In addition to the movement that occurs.
Okay, 你这里可以用 tap, 因为跨字 t 两边是母音，我们可以念 tap. That occurs. Good, yeah, good.
That occurs because of the lowering and rising of the
and
raising of the jaw.
Good.
This movement is called lip
Make the
rounding.
V clear.
Yes.
And make the V clearer. This movement.
This movement,
Once more.
not
this. This.
this.
Yeah.
This movement is called lip rounding.
Lip.
Lip.
Okay. Lip 是跳跃，嘴唇是 lip. Everyone lip rounding. 圆唇 in Chinese 就是圆唇。Okay.
It is usually most noticeable in the inwards movement of the inward.
Yeah.
Inward movement of the corners of the lips. Vowels may be described as being rounded, as in hood, or hood,
Yeah.
or unrounded, as in heave.
Okay. I will continue to summarize after this, but let's understand this paragraph. So, although we've just marked the place in the vocal tract of the different vowels, the approximate place, because as we've mentioned before, it's really hard to map vowels, to describe vowels is really difficult. So these are just approximate, and they're These are just approximate, and they're based on averages. They calculated these acoustically. They didn't do it by looking where people put their tongues. They did it acoustically, and we'll learn how in another class, probably second semester. So these are the approximate positions of the vowels, but in addition to where you're putting your tongue, your lips are also doing something. So watch very carefully as I make the sounds. Everybody watch. My lips. E, I, a. So my lips are going from very spread to more relaxed, right? As I open my jaw, then there's just a. Then I've just got a wide opening. And still nothing really special. But when we get to everybody look. Ooh. What are my lips doing? Right. And rounded vowels are typical for back vowels in general. 这样是后母音，最典型的、最常见的是圆唇的后母音。And it's true in Chinese as well. You also have u and as in 臀 and you have o, and you have hong, like o. So you also have rounded back vowels in Chinese, and that's normal for all the languages of the world. It is possible to have an unrounded back vowel, but these are more marked. 有标记 marked 是说它会比较突出，比较特别，跟你所expect 的不一样。So 闽南语那个是比较 marked， 比较不常见的，比较特别。marked 有标记，这是一个术语哦 ，write it down。有标记是说跟你平常遇到的、想到的、认为大概会这样子不一样的，是 marked， 是比较特别、比较少见的。所以那个音比较少见。肚子饿的那个也是稍微比较不是那么常见，因为后面的母音大部分是什么？比较多。What's more common for back vowels in any language? Lip rounding, 圆唇。Okay, if you weren't following what we're saying, now you can catch up. 后母音最典型的、最常见的是有圆唇。Usually, very often anyway, we have lip rounding with back vowels. 前母音可不可以有 lip rounding? Give me an example. Very good. 语 perfect example. And 语 is fairly common, but it still is marked. 语是不是说非常罕见的音？法文、德文、瑞典文很多语言都有语，可是呢，它是比较 marked。前母音最典型的 lip gesture 是什么？ Just spread lips， 没有 rounding。前母音一般来说是没有 rounding 的比较多，有 rounding 是 marked。后母音是刚好相反，而且这个是有个物理上的一个解释，为什么是这个样子，是非常合理的一个解释。But we don't have time， 因为快要下课。然后这是下学期的东西，这是有个很好的原因，为什么后母音大部分是会有 rounding？But it's a fact， okay？ So we finished that. Let's just summarize. This is all we can do. We can't have the test next time. We haven't covered it. I want to cover this before we take the test. So 那个考试要延后一次。Now, in summary, the targets for vowel gestures can be described in terms of 3 factors. Number 1 is the what of the tongue? Height of the body. 对，就是舌头的高度，这是第一个。我们要描述母音，第一个是舌头的高度。第二个呢是什么？舌头的什么 ？Front and back position， 舌头的前后。And 3 is the degree of lip rounding. Okay, we have to stop there. We're going to finish it next time. We took extra time today. I think it was absolutely useful. I can't say 100% necessary, but I think it was all useful. Please take detailed notes. 有时候你听我讲故事，以为没什么就没写，可是其实你错过一个很重要的一点讯息。That should take care of it. We will see you next Monday. Okay?